Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're going to be talking all about intermittent fasting. Most of you know that I've lost over 135 pounds naturally through diet and exercise, and I actually didn't start incorporating intermittent fasting until I reached a plateau. Because of course, as you get closer to your goal weight, it gets harder and harder, and I was getting so frustrated because I was trying to eat like so perfect and working out like an animal, and I was like, why am I not losing weight? So I started doing research, and I actually started intermittent fasting about 5 years ago, like consistently. But I did it even without knowing way early on. So I want to answer some of your questions because there's a lot of questions that you guys have. If I happen to miss your question, then of course comment down below and I will make a part 2 for you guys. So I want to start off by explaining what intermittent fasting actually is. So the best way to describe it is like having a window throughout the day where you eat your meals within that window. So like from 12 to 6, basically from noon until 6 p.m., you would eat your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever you want. And then from 6 until 12 the next day, you fast and you're drinking your water, your electrolytes, you can drink tea, black coffee. So it's not an actual diet. I feel like a lot of people get confused and they think it's a diet, but it's not. You can literally eat whatever you want. Of course, you want to always nourish your body and think, healthy foods, but the truth is that you actually don't have to. I, of course, still eat low carb because I have a bunch of food sensitivities now, and it would just make me feel, really bad. But for a lot of you, it might work for you just to eat the way you're eating now, but instead of eating all day long, you just eat within a tighter window. And the tighter the window, the better the results are. It's crazy. I've tried it where literally eating like junk food, been out, and I'll do it like I'll eat one meal a day, which is like OMAD, and not only do you not gain weight, you can actually lose weight. So it's crazy, but I'll explain that a little more later on in the video. Okay, and for those of you that are wondering how I keep track of my intermittent fasting, I actually use an app called Do Fasting. Let me show you. I really love it because it keeps track of your intermittent fasting time so that you don't have to think about it, because imagine thinking about it all day. No. So it basically keeps a little clock for you. You can also track your meals. It gives you ideas for lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks. It even has workouts in here. One of the things that I really liked about this is like if you have goals, so say for instance, you weigh 190 pounds and you want to reach 170 pounds, it'll basically tell you like what you have to do, how long it'll take you to get there, and basically plan everything out for you. So I love that about it. You put your current weight, it tracks your calories, your water intake. It basically just kind of tracks everything for you, so it makes your life so much easier. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below so that you can check it out. You do have to pay for it, but I was in contact with the company and they did offer us a 10% discount. So just enter lowcarblove10 at checkout and you'll get the 10% off. But I think you guys will really enjoy using the app. It's super helpful and makes everything so much easier. So that's how I track my timing. It just makes it so much easier. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is it's not a one-way fits all. You can, if you're just starting off, because let me explain to you, we all intermittent fast. I know you're probably like, no, I don't, but when we're sleeping, we are actually fasting. And I know this is like, what are you even talking about? But breakfast, right? When we eat breakfast, how many of you know that that is where breakfast comes from? Breakfast, break, fast, like you're breaking your fast. Isn't that crazy? Like it just like dawned on me about 3 years ago. I was like, wait, what? That's so crazy. So we all intermittent fast, okay? The only thing is that some of us just push that window out a little longer. And then as you get more, it's like a muscle. So intermittent fasting is like a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And there's so many benefits, guys. We'll go into the benefits right now, but you can start off with 12 hours and then do that for a week. And then you're like, you know what? I can handle this. Then you do 14 and 16, 18. Like, I don't even want to tell you guys, but I have done a 7-day fast, 7-day water fast. I know, so crazy. That's a whole nother story. I was having a ton of gut issues. If you guys want to know about that, comment down below, let me know, and I'll actually film a video for you guys. It was insane, but it was so worth it. What I'm saying is that it took me a while to get there, but it did. And so now I just do it for fun. I do it because it makes me feel amazing. There are so many benefits to intermittent fasting. So the one thing I love from intermittent fasting is that it suppresses my cravings for junk. I know you're probably like, what? But it actually does. I stop craving sweets. I stop craving junky, like little chips and stuff like that. And the first 2 days, I'm not gonna lie, they are a little tough, but after day 2, boom, you're good. Not only does it suppress your cravings for junky foods, it actually starts suppressing your appetite, which is like everything, which means that your glucose is lowering, your insulin is lowering, like everything is basically getting on track, which is exactly what you want. Another thing is inflammation. Boom, you lose so much inflammation from intermittent fasting. My mom, like, she intermittent fasts, and she it really helps her with like joint pain, and of course the obvious and one of the biggest benefits is actual fat loss. I feel like the weight loss is one of the biggest reasons why people actually start intermittent fasting, and then you stay because of how you feel, because you have more energy, less bloating, less inflammation, you have mental clarity, so many benefits. If you are a like intermittent faster, let everyone know in the comments, because sometimes people are afraid, right? I feel like we have such an attachment to food that thinking about not eating for that many hours, you're like, no, I can't do that. But trust me, once you start, you will be on that wagon where everyone's like, yeah, go, like intermittent fasting is everything in life. And for me, I've fallen off the wagon, I get back on. I just recently jumped back on. I did exceptionally well. And then Donnie and I were we were just dealing with a lot of business stuff, and I just stopped intermittent fasting. And I was like, wait a minute, like I haven't been fasting. And so I'm back on it again, and I'm literally in a day, I'm like, boom, energy's back on, mental clarity, like I'm focused. It's amazing, guys. If you have not tried it, especially if you've reached a plateau on your weight loss journey, intermittent fasting is gonna be like everything to you. So those are the benefits of intermittent fasting, and there's so many more though. There's so many more, like insulin resistance, and like it can help with insulin resistance. It can help with, so many different things. But of course, I'm not a doctor, and I'm just here to give you like my personal tips and things that have worked for me. And that is what I experienced, so that's what I share with you. Another thing that's super, super important after you fast is like, how do you break your fast? So the number one thing that I would recommend to break a fast is bone broth. Bone broth, whether you make it or you buy it. I buy it because I'm not gonna spend 48 hours boiling bones to get a pot of bone broth. Like, I'm not gonna do that. But if you're there for it, make it. Bone broth has so much collagen, nutrients, protein. Like, it's amazing for your gut lining, your gut health, everything. So that's my number one recommendation. If you don't have bone broth, I would say like a soup, a broth, something light. The longer you fast, the more sensitive your stomach's gonna be. If you're just fasting for the day, even 24 hours, no problem. You're not gonna have a sensitivity at all. But if you're doing like a 2, 3, 4, 5 day fast, then at that point you definitely wanna take it easy. So number one thing is bone broth. Another thing, I usually just have like proteins right after, and that works for me. But to answer the biggest question, how do you break a fast, is bone broth, guys. Bone broth. The one that I use, I will link it in the description below for you. It's amazing, and you guys are gonna be obsessed with it. Another thing is, how do I sustain fasting? So guys, again, it's like a muscle, right? It's like working out. So it's like discipline, right? When you work out every single day, you're just gonna be there and you're gonna do it. And just like it's easy to say, today I'm not going to the gym, it's easy to say like, today I'm just not fasting. So it's all in here. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. it becomes a routine. If you fall off the wagon where it's just literally like, bro, I cannot fast. Like, what? I wake up, I'm hungry. So if you're waking up and you're hungry already, that means you might be having a little too many carbs and your glucose is elevated, your insulin's a little elevated. So you have to just get back down to a low carb diet. Go back on, you know, even if you're not keto, even if you're not low carb like regularly, just try to lower your carbs a little. Eat a little more protein, eat a little more healthy fats, and then everything will kind of get back down, get pretty elevated. And then it'll be a lot easier for you to start intermittent fasting. So again, if you are waking up in the morning and you're super hungry already, then you just have to think about what have you been eating, because that's usually the reason why you're already like waking up with an elevated glucose level. And that works for me. So like this last time when I'm telling you I was hungry, I was just eating, and I was like, what in the world? Like, why am I not fasting? Like, why can't I fast? And I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, I know why. I've been having my, you know, chips or whatever. And so, so anyway, cut those out, started eating my salmon, you know, just more protein, healthy fats, and then I was able to start fasting again. So the only thing I can say is to sustain fasting, I would say you just need to work at it, because it definitely is something that you need to put a little work into. But just know that all the benefits are so worth it. And if there's one thing that I would say, one of the best things that you can do for your body is to actually intermittent fast. Now I'm going to show you a before and after photo, because of course this is one of the benefits of intermittent fasting, but guys, there are so many more benefits to intermittent fasting. This is just one that you can actually physically see. So there it is, before and after. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. These are just some of the things that have helped me along the way, what I do on a daily basis for the most part. The only thing I will say is I usually take it easy the week before my period, because that week I feel like it just, for whatever reason, it's a lot more difficult for me to fast. So you guys might want to do the same, especially if you struggle. Like, don't put that pressure on yourself. If you guys have any other questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to make a part 2 for you guys. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.